stories fade with time, buried beneath silence, lost in forgotten files, or dismissed as mysteries that will never be solved. But behind every case is a voice that was never heard, a truth still waiting in the dark. This channel is dedicated to the victims, the unanswered questions, and the stories that refuse to disappear. Because somewhere, someone still knows what happened. Welcome to Cries, Unheard in the Darkness. In the early 1970s, a shadow fell over Washington, D.C., while the city was the epicenter of global politics. Its residential streets were being haunted by a predator who targeted the most vulnerable. Between April 1971 and September 1972, 6 young African-American girls were abducted and murdered. The killer was bold, psychological, and seemingly invisible. He called himself the Freeway Phantom. The nightmare began with Carol Spinks, a 13-year-old sent on an errand to a local shop just across the Maryland line. She vanished on her walk home, and her body was discovered 6 days later, discarded near a major highway. Investigators noticed a strange detail. She was missing her shoes. Only months later, 16-year-old Darlenia Johnson disappeared while heading to her summer job. A witness caught a glimpse of her in an older black vehicle driven by a black man, but the trail went cold. Her remains were eventually located a mere 15 feet from where Carol had been found, a grim indication that the killer had a preferred dumping ground. The case took a sinister turn with Brenda Faye Crockett, age 10. After her abduction, Brenda actually called her home twice. In the first call, she sounded confused, telling her sister she was in a taxi with a white man. In the second, more desperate call, she spoke to her stepfather, asking if her mother had seen her and crying that she was alone with a man. Footsteps were heard in the background before the line cut out. Police believe the killer manipulated her into giving false location information to distract the search. Then came 18-year-old Brenda Denise Woodard. In her pocket, police found a haunting message written on her own school paper. It claimed the killings were tantamount to an insensitivity toward women and challenged the police to catch him. It was signed with a chilling new title, Freeway Phantom. The spree continued with Nenamashia Yates, just 12 years old, and ended nearly a year later with Diane Williams, a 17-year-old high school senior. The hunt for the Phantom led investigators down 3 main paths. The Green Vega Gang. This group was notorious for abductions and assaults along the Beltway. An informant in prison claimed a fellow gang member admitted to one of the murders, even revealing a signature detail known only to the police. However, when a local politician leaked news of a potential breakthrough to the media, the informant feared for his life and refused to speak again. The ex-cops. For a time, 2 former officers, Edward Selman and Tommy Simmons, were under intense scrutiny after being arrested for a different murder. While many hoped this would close the Phantom case, it was eventually determined that their crime was unrelated. Robert Askins, a computer technician with a violent history, Askins became a major person of interest. During a search of his home, police found documents featuring the word tantamount, the same rare word used in the Phantom note. Coworkers noted that he used the word often in speech. Despite the linguistic link, no physical evidence was ever found in his home or backyard connecting him to the murders. By the mid-1970s, the murders stopped as suddenly as they had started. But why wasn't he caught? A major hurdle was the common practice of the era. Detectives often kept their own case files rather than filing them centrally. As these officers retired or died, primary notes, witness statements, and evidence were lost or destroyed. Today, the Freeway Phantom remains one of the most haunting unsolved mysteries in D.C. history. A $150,000 reward still stands for any information that can finally provide justice for these 6 girls. If you have any information regarding this case, please contact the Metropolitan Police Department. Thank you for listening to Cries, Unheard in the Darkness. If this story stayed with you, you're not alone. Subscribe, because the darkness always has more to say. Until next time, listen carefully,